grapes are fruit. So I'm like, what if he has Kool-Aid jammers? You know, the things like that you go... Hey everyone, welcome back to Rupees Over Ramen, the show where we talk about animation, creativity, the creative process, and tons of other nerdy stuff. So we are back talking about Tanuki Hero, the story that I have been working on for a little bit. I'm just going to do some type. I made a list of things for it to capture, kind of pillars, like RPG vibes, that multiplayer type thing, a storyline, and then references to things from my childhood. So we've talked about Mephiles, how he has the Nintendo Power Glove as his weapon. Ice has the Rock Band guitar, and Toad kind of has that little Game Boy, kind of like a Tamagotchi that he can summon a familiar, kind of like a Pokemon. And if you're like, wait, what are we talking about? Go to the episode right before this, and it gives a little bit of an introduction to what we're talking about. This is kind of like a looser episode, so let me know what you think about it. We're just kind of talking about a story that I've been working on, and I would love to have some of the characters that are in this story, like my friends that have inspired these characters, come on the show and talk to them about this story, because it's kind of been under wraps a little bit. So this is kind of, you guys are getting the first little sneak peeks. And thinking about like nostalgic accessories and working on another character was Top Hat Toast, which is based on my cousin Nolan, which is on the Not Quite Legends podcast. Go check that out. Link in the description and show notes. So his character, he has really long hair now, so I kind of made his character have long hair. And I thought it'd be cool because he has a VR headset that I've played like Beat Saber and stuff on. Like, that'd be cool if he had that kind of like that VR, kind of like that. I think it's Geordi LaForge from Star Trek, like not the original Star Trek, but one of like the newer-ish ones. And I kind of want that vibe. So he has that, and then he also has a little toast guy on his shirt, and he has like one of those kind of hoodies that wraps over into itself, like with the hood. If you know what I'm talking about, cool. If you don't, sorry. So yeah, I was like, okay, that'd be cool. So what is something that I think would be cool for him? What is something nostalgic that a lot of people connect to? You know, dice. Even more importantly for him, D&D dice, and he collects D&D dice. Wouldn't it be cool if you had these D&D dice, and when you roll them, like if you roll a natural 20, your attack against the boss is more powerful, or if you roll like a lower number, it can be like detrimental to you. And these like dice, they're kind of enchanted to have like magical power like that. Yeah, that'd be super cool. We're just gonna run through some of the other weapons. I have them somewhere. We found it. We found the list. So I've kind of making a list of things. So just to cover again, Mephiles has the Nintendo Power Glove. Ice Luigi has Guitar Hero guitar, which he uses like a bard. Toad has the Game Boy that summons a little familiar to help him. And then he also has, I didn't talk about this in the first episode, but he has these high tops that allow him to double jump, because my brother loved Mario Bros growing up. And then Toast has the D&D dice with the VR goggles, the VR headset. Minnie has the blades, like he has two lightsaber blades that come out of like either NES controllers or Joy-Cons. Joy-Cons aren't quite nostalgic yet, but I don't know. The Switch has been around for a while, a bit, so maybe. And then some of the other weapons, Bacon Slug, which is Top Hat Toast's brother. I had this idea, I don't know if this is going to go forward, but like a Game Boy Advance, like kaiju. So like a kaiju, like a giant creature, like mech suit type thing that he fights in that kind of has Game Boy Advance vibes. I don't know. Sergeant Tacos, which I made videos with, Ocarina of Time videos and Mario 64 multiplayer videos a while back. He's been my friend for a long time. And his character, we'd never really drawn him before, so I took the liberties to draw him for the first time. He really loves like super like cozy hoodies, so I kind of drew him like that way for the first time. And then like sweatpants, because he likes the cozy coats. He really likes piano, but like having a piano like this when you're in battle, like with the stand, it doesn't work. So I'm like, Rock Band, like the keytar. And it's similar to the Guitar Hero guitar. And a lot of these, like, they're subject to change, but this is the idea right now and wanted to share it with you. So he has this keytar, and it kind of works like a bard as well. He has two brothers, Mutated Grape and Corporal Cheese. Yeah, I know. Awesome names. Mutated Grape, I made his character. What would be good for him? I don't know. This is kind of like cliche maybe, but grapes are fruit. So I'm like, what if he has Kool-Aid jammers? You know, the things like that you go, like you twist them off. If you had them at recess, you were like super cool. You were all that in a bag of chips. So he has Kool-Aid jammers, and he kind of has them like strapped across his chest on his sides, and then he's an artificer or potions master type thing. Each of the Kool-Aids, one could be a bomb or something, or like a teleporting thing. I don't know. It's like, this would be interesting. So I just wrote it down, and I'm like, maybe, let's see. So gaining inspiration for that. And then his other brother, Corporal Cheese, still kind of trying to figure out his. Then with Joker X, in the drawing, he's kind of just drawn as like no face with like some drip. Like he got that backwards cap and black jeans. Probably drop it in the show notes on the podcast too. When Mephiles designed his character, he kind of designed him as like that clown type. And I have kind of like a low-key fear of clowns. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But I do like no face and like masks and stuff like that. So I was like, how about we do like kind of like that Japanese vibe kabuki mask or something. So still working on that. I was thinking kind of like a white mask and like his eyes and stuff. It was weird. When working on this Pinterest board, I started doing them for the characters. With his character, I found this anime character who looks kind of like my friend Joker. He has that mask type thing, the aesthetic that I wanted to capture. And whoa, this is weird. Anime that has my friend as like the main character. Kind of cool though. I was like, that's cool. Going back to using Pinterest as an artist. In using Pinterest as an artist, I have boards for stories that I'm working on, and then I also have Pinterest boards for branding type stuff for my YouTube channel, hoodies and clothing line, and then I also have a Pinterest board just for style, and then my art studio inspiration. This would be really cool to have in a studio when I have a studio. So yeah, it's just cool to go on every once in a while and be like, yes, I love this. This gives me serotonin. I love this. This is beautiful. So in working on the Tanuki Hero board, I've just been kind of nailing down that aesthetic and that vibe. So being like, okay, friends on an adventure type vibe, Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like that cyberpunk. Came up across this aesthetic called diesel punk, and kind of even more of that aesthetic with kind of vaporwave. And if you're like, dang, that sounds super cool, you can check out the Pinterest board, link in the description. Yeah, so I kind of have all the characters, and then I have a generic board of this applies to this story. I'm not sure where it goes, which character applies to, but it applies to the story, so I'm gonna apply it to that board. So that's with characters, but also with Pinterest boards, you can gain inspiration for locations. In the past episode, I talked about Settlers of Catan. That kind of inspired the idea of this loft that was this old library and kind of was converted into kind of their hangout place. So I came across kind of like these ornate, like arched window, like house aesthetic stuff, and I'm like, ooh, that's nice. And then like all these guys on a roof, and I'm like, okay, that's gonna be the roof of this location. Okay, it's gonna have the Settlers of Catan board type thing with like the couches going around here. There's gonna be a staircase here. Taking images, like photos of houses and stuff, having this photo bash, like amalgamation of all these things, like this is what this room is gonna look like. So when trying to create locations for the stories that you're working on, creating a board for that location can help a ton. This is the vibe I want to capture and the aesthetic of this place. I've been having a super awesome time talking about this story, Tanuki Hero, that I'm working on, which is about tons of friends that go up against demons and shadows of another world with nothing but nostalgic accessories and their wits. So I hope you guys have been enjoying this as well. Thank you guys so much for joining. Again, going to be coming out with more talking about animation and stuff content soon, so don't worry, we'll be back with that. Just wanted to kind of try out something different. See you guys next Saturday. See you guys next time. Peace.